Welcome, 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 wel
I just want to say before this one starts, I hate Puffer and Rye for this. Alright, we are here with Jichar to now recap his game versus Carson in Week 2 Analytic. What's going on, man?
Hey man, yeah, no, it's going well. I'm here to set the record straight because it was called a meme game, but actually it didn't make a difference. I'm actually different. That's what I'm here to say.
We'll get to the reason why there's...
Okay, alright.
Let's call it controversy.
yeah.
So, do you want to explain any of the pre-lead stuff? Go ahead, otherwise...
Yeah, I don't really remember, to be honest. I don't even remember what I led, but I just had a fairly simple team. What did I lead? Oh yeah, Fortress. That doesn't surprise me. I think I just wanted rocks up early because
or
Toad's Crawl is just a shit spinner, especially into my team.
I mean, Toxic Spikes are pretty free against his team, but...
Yeah. And I was happy to just let Drifloon die because it doesn't really do anything into his team other than block spin.
Is that the reason he brought it?
Pretty much. I can't remember what else he had on his team, but there might have been something that I needed it for. But it was pretty much just to spin block because Toxic Spikes were completely free into his team. And here I thought I was nice, and I was not nice at all. Doing Memento into DD Kyurem, it was a mixed set with Earth Power, but obviously Earth Power can't hit Eelektross, so I thought I just lost. And I was hoping here, I think I had a roll here, because I did have Bulk on Kyurem, and it had a red card, so I think I was playing for a roll for the red cards, and then I was just kind of throwing shit into the meat grinder to die because I thought I'd lost already.
And what hammer still does 51 with +4?
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It has to be.
It was banded, yeah. I think it's adamant as well. Yeah, it's max attack banded. So I just... That Pokemon is ridiculous. And here I went for Throat Chop because I could live a Hydro Pump from an unboosted bundle and 2-hit KO with Throat Chop, and if I did go for CC, obviously I just die to a Zoroark. So that was just a kind of a hedge. That was fine. And I don't think we're about to get to the controversy, maybe.
It's right here, yeah.
It's right here, yeah. So here, again, given that Sneasler hasn't taken any chip and it had a little bit of special defense investment, I think, if I remember correctly, there was like a 50% roll of CC killing here. So I wanted the poison chip to put it to 100%, so I clicked substitute, and yeah, he's got a blind Goodra. So, although it looked bad,
I think I gotta put the blind Goodra gif that he made on the thumbnail.
Yes, a good gift. That was good.
I don't think that's a choice. I think that's mandatory.
I think so. But yeah, I mean, this looks bad because obviously I have a sub up now, so I just definitely win.
Don't you? It's just 4 CCs, right?
Yeah, it's literally 4 CCs because Sneasler is stupid. Yeah. And it just kind of happens. But the issue is because his booster speed on the bundle still doesn't outspeed because Sneasler is stupid. And then obviously he has...
I didn't know what the item was.
Yeah. Obviously he had Urshifu who could have suckered and probably would have killed at like -4. I don't know the roll on that. But it was banded, so even if that Draco didn't miss from Goodra, I just click CC until Urshifu comes out, and then I click substitute the first turn against Urshifu, and if he clicks Sucker Punch, then I get a free sub, and then just can click CC again. Because I don't think that there's anything he could have done there with banded Urshifu. There was no mind game for him to win.
Probably not.
Um,
At worst, he breaks a sub with Sucker after all the defense drops. Even then, that's still not helping his case.
no, because I just sub again, and he can't do anything, because nothing else can outspeed Sneasler, because it has 130 speed and unburden. Yeah, it's a funny Pokemon.
That's why we Tera banned it.
Yeah, I think that might have been a good choice. That's a silly Pokemon. And it carried me to 2nd seed. So that's good. I hear, yeah, you had Funnell on to talk about his game. Obviously, I didn't beat Funnell in round 1 of the playoffs. That was sad. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I had to say. I just needed to set the record straight because it's going in the meme game, and like I love the Goodra gift. Don't get me wrong, the blind Goodra. That's a funny gift.
It was priceless. It was great.
It was good shit. But other than that, it's like it was in the bag, is what I'm saying. Under control. I got nothing more to say. He's just Sneasler's the GOAT.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Outside of that one turn, there's not a lot of this game to talk about.
No, other than obviously Rillaboom doing unspeakable things.
The almost eel sweep.
The almost eel sweep. I was pretty much resigned at that point. I thought,
Alright, we are here with the Week 3 battle between KHD and Manou, and I have Manou here with me to talk about this game. What is up, Manou?
Hello, My Little Pony.
God damn it. Alright, so we have this game of Pocket Monsters with all of my Pokemon and his Pokemon. Do you remember anything about your lead, or you just want to get right into it?
I think I had a Terapagos lead.
We'll see what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I already regret not clicking Flamethrower. But the plan was to like Rapid Spin, like, as I do here. Then I had Silk Scarf, which was supposed to kill Dusk with the Silk Scarf, but you ended up being AV, so it just doesn't do anything. Yeah. So, and then I was hoping you would be more defensive because of the AV, but you outsped anyway, so that's a shame.
Yep,
and then this turn.
Took Nazumat out, and now the Dio Speed comes in, and this is not living anything else, so I'm just gonna let it die, but uh-oh!
And that is basically all my offensive monsters just dead. Which isn't great.
And that was the plan. I don't know if really Psycho Boost being your most reliable move was...
Well, see, the thing is, like, if you look at my moveset, I have like Psycho Boost, Fire Punch, Superpower, Knockoff, right? So I click Psycho Boost on Tusk. I guess I click Psycho Boost or Superpower on Bundle. I click Knockoff on Sinistcha. I click Fire Punch on Scizor. And then the other two are like, depending on the Tera type, I can knock off the Boulder or whatever, or Superpower. But I basically planned for like Deoxys to come in and revenge the entire time. That's why there's no Nasty Plot or whatever. But that didn't really come into fruition because of the miss, obviously. Because I did the Calyx and I only needed like a little bit of chip on all your guys to like actually be able to one-shot them. Boulder was the main issue for the Deoxys to be able to revenge.
Yeah, especially if a Tera's out of being weak to knock off, which was my plan.
I almost brought Poison Jab too, in case you were like Tera Fairy, but I didn't think you were going to be Tera Fairy, but I think you were in the end.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, so I should have done the Poison Jab over Knockoff probably, but it is what it is. Didn't matter anyway. And there he goes.
Then Hans just comes in.
That was my only play at this point, right? Like, I could go in,
there's your max defense. There's your max defense right there.
Yeah, dude, I accidentally made max defense instead of max attack. I guess helpful for this, but in later game, not so much.
Also, throw Banded Caterpie in jail.
What happened? Oh.
It was...
Huh? Yeah.
WinCon.
Banded Caterpie.
Then, it's setup time with Enam. I know. Oh, maybe I don't set up yet.
No, you didn't set up, but like here I was just like, I was so far behind that I was trying to like make a play to come back into it. I was predicting you to go into Sinistcha here, I think, or something, and so I doubled into Tran, but then you just Earth Power. So
yeah, I Earth Power just because I thought the Claude would be Shuckaberry, because I wanted that broken for Boulder.
That's fair enough, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna I needed to do something to get back into it, right? So I'll defend the play, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. And then Clodsire, Chips, yeah.
Yeah, I just straight up told you in chat. I knew I had won. Mm-hmm. I just had to sit here and click buttons.
You get this to have drop too, that's crazy. At least I didn't miss. This guy, I had hands for him. Freeze Dry is gonna do like, nothing.
I want to try Tera Iron Hand, seems nasty.
It's a fun one, yeah. And then here, if I was max attack, I probably could have done something, but you had the Yachi anyway, so it didn't really matter. Clodsire dies. I probably shouldn't have sacked it because it lived the hit, and then I could like recover back up, but I mean,
17.
Yeah. See, if this was max attack Adam, and they would have at least done something, but like you had strength step anyway, so I really needed the Oxys for this game, unfortunately, so that miss just really fucked it up in the beginning.
I got another drop on Whimsicott, because why not?
Yeah, this game is stupid, dude.
I don't know how much that matters, but still.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I was really hoping that bundle set could do something, but it was whatever at this point. After that miss, I just had to just sit there. Pretty much.
I didn't really like my matchup too much. Like I felt like the Oxus was really the only good offensive Pokemon I had, and I guess Terapagos, but I kind of wasted it early. So it was just a really uphill battle for me, and the miss just fucking sealed it. Like I don't think I could have won at all as soon as the miss happened. Maybe if the Heatran double worked out, but other than that, I don't really see it.
Yeah, well, that's vintage Pokemon.
True. Pokemon is such a bad game sometimes.
Fucking garbage ass. So Mike already put a live comm of this on his YouTube channel. As for the Jace game, I will link both of those in the description.
You will switch Pokemon, 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 you will switch Pokemon.
All right, we are here to talk about the Season 20 Adaptability Finals between Inversify and Pee Wee McGee, and I got Inverse to talk about the game. What's up, man?
Ooh. The Flyers are better than the Devils.
Fantastic introduction. Also standings. You should look at them. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess I'll get into my team that I brought here and kind of my thought process when building. This was a rematch from the regular season, which I actually lost that match. I brought literally the exact same set for a couple of these Pokemon because I thought they were good sets and they just didn't quite play out right the first time. So my main win condition was double dancing Tera Fire Gliscor because all of his ground resists were very bad into Tera Fire, and I felt like it was very easy for me to get up a double dance on things like Corviknight, which I used to be a lot bigger Corviknight fan, but it's definitely very prone to you have something that can set up in front of it, and then it kind of just loses you the game. Tera Fire also very good into the Chien-Pao because of Gliscor's natural bulk. So there's a chance that I could get off some setup in that sense. And then I have Galarian Slowking is like a calm mindset with Colbur Berry to live a hit from Chien-Pao if necessary as like a secondary win condition. And you know, the first time that we played, Gliscor died to Scarf Basculegion before it got the agility off. And so I knew I hadn't revealed my whole set, so I figured that was my best game plan. A couple things that like easily lure in the Corviknight that could potentially get Gliscor setup opportunities, like Rock's Cobalion with Volt Switch, and then Sylveon, his obvious switch in is Corviknight. I have a Baton Pass. And then just a couple other supporting mons like a Medicham to just trying to break some things, or Blastoise to provide a little bit of hazard control and another pivoting option. But yeah, I guess we can get into the replay now.
Yeah, I think I like the build for the most part just because you go all in on being able to set up on Corviknight.
Mm-hmm.
And also like you said with Corviknight being prone to setup, I do think this gen the power creep like hurt it a lot. Like last year you can throw in Corviknight on so much stuff, and then now it kind of just dies to a lot more. Doesn't live as many
especially
hits as it used
Tera.
to. If that makes sense.
Yeah, especially with the Tera.
Do you see the MVP? We do not.
Here, I leave with a Sylveon because I thought it was pretty good into most of his thing. Like it's pretty good into both Chien-Pao, Infernape, and Raging Bolt, which is why I wanted to bring it. And he just starts pivoting. I tried to catch him Corviknight with a flamethrower, maybe weaken it a little bit. But he switches into Basculegion. He just clicks 10 million pivoting moves over and over and over again. I think he tried to catch out my Gliscor there with a Draco, but obviously I wasn't going to switch it in because it's my win condition. But yeah, I knew I had to like make a move at some point just because obviously like my team's getting whittled down. I didn't bring any recovery on this Sylveon, so I needed things to happen. Here I predicted he would go Tera Fairy. I just wanted to weaken this Raging Bolt. I didn't really mind stacking Medicham to weaken the Raging Bolt, and that way, because Tera Raging Bolt with like the Draco could be a potential problem for the Gliscor if it's like fully healthy. But now that that's gone, like pretty much nothing lives a hit. So I decided to go into Gliscor on the Spite Ops because I figured that could also be a setup opportunity. He switches in the Corviknight, which kind of makes sense. Then it just gives me a lot of free setup opportunity. And from here, now I have my double dance off. I think this might have been a roll, but I'm not really sure. It kind of depends on his bulk. I think if he's like no bulk, I think Earthquake always killed. But if you had any bulk, it could have been a roll, but I knew last time he brought Scarf, and it had looked like Scarf again, and so I assumed that he had no bulk. And at that point, I was kind of like already showed my hand. I was like, it's either I get this kill here, or if I delay it anymore, I'm probably just going to lose the game. And thankfully for me, it obviously killed.
Get it and run the entire table.
Exactly. But yeah, if I tried to play this match in like a slow, drawn out fashion, like his Pokemon were a lot better at breaking than my Pokemon were, and so it just wouldn't have worked to try to delay it. So it was kind of just biding my time, getting a little bit of chip on things. Like the little bit of chip on Basculegion definitely helped for Gliscor to kill it. Getting the chip on Raging Bolt, and then finding a time where I could just go into Gliscor and set up and try to win, and it worked out.
Yeah, I think this was just a well executed plan for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Saw my plan in prep, and I was like, this is going to be my win condition. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But thankfully for me, it worked out.
I don't particularly remember the first time you guys played during the regular season. What was this the same Gliscor too, or did it?
It was.
Oh,
I don't think I changed. I don't even think I changed the EVs. I'm pretty sure I just.
So he saw Terrifier at preview both times.
He saw Terrifier. I didn't Tera in the first matchup. I clicked Swords Dance on Corviknight as he U-turned into Basculegion, and then he killed me with a Wave Crash because I was trying to hope that it was not Scarf, and it was. So that's kind of why I was like, when we had the rematch, I was like, well, he didn't really see my full set. He might not be expecting it necessarily to also have agility.
Also presuming
and
that's why you clicked it
I think just in general, like the way the matchup played out last time, I didn't have a great just like straight up matchup. Not to say that to call this like cheese, I guess, but I figured something out of the ordinary like this, instead of just okay, we have each of our mons and we try to wear it down and then just try to clean with something. If we went with that game plan, he almost assuredly would have won, just based on how the matchup went. Obviously, the quality of my mons are a lot worse than the quality of his mons, because I didn't bring some of my top stuff like Dragapult. That's why he brought like Terra Fairy, Raging Bolt. I kind of cleaned up the last game that we had with he was AV last time, and with Terra Fairy, and Dragapult just could never break that, and Corviknight, and try to live hits from Chen Pao.
Yeah, just off the 6 that he brought, it does not look like a very good Dragapult matchup at all.
Yeah. So I had brought it last time as kind of a cleaner. Obviously it's Dragapult, so it can be useful even in matchups where it's not like amazing offensively. But in this case, I think the first time we played as well, I didn't have Medicham on my team. I made that change in the middle of the season. And so I actually thought Medicham had a decent chance of just being pretty annoying for him. I had Trailblaze on the set as well. If I ever found the opportunity to click Trailblaze, it could have been really annoying as like a tertiary win condition behind Gliscor and Slowking, just in case things went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the Medicham definitely did its job, though. Like, the chip and bolt ended up being crucial. It did exactly what you needed it to do.
Mm-hmm.
we're probably good to go.
Yep, no worries.
Alright. I just gotta think for a second how I did this last season. I probably should have watched last season's video again.
That's okay, we can always do it again if we need to.
From work 2 hours ago, everything is happening. I guess this is the final video, so we can start with this. Alright, and for the final video... Shit, no, not video. Final game of the video, alright. Alright, for the final game of the video, I am joined by the one and only Funnell to talk about his analytic championship game against Mike. What's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Glad to be here. So, when I was prepping for this match, my game plan was always to use my Iron Boulder there to try and sweep. So, I've got myself there at Tera Fairy, because Rock and Fairy covered most of the stuff that wasn't Steel, Poison, or Fire, so I could just slap on Earthquake. And then the whole game plan around this one is basically how do I chip everything in range of Boulder and then give it an opportunity to set up. So, off lead, my lead intention was always to be Ogerpon, because the only thing that could kill it off lead would be a Choice Band Triple Axle Masquerada. And when I looked at the lead, I was actually surprised to see the Flamingo there. I thought Manaphy or Rotom Heat would definitely be in that slot.
Alright, if you want me to start it, I can.
Yep, start.
If you want me to pause at any point, let me know.
Yeah, so on this one, I was trying to scout for damage, trying to sort out what things would be, so I could just determine what the sets would be. I could tell by the damage roll on the first one that I knew my Power Whip would be enough to kill on that Garchomp, purely because it would have had to be more offensive to take that much damage.
Yeah, it just chewed right through it. It was honestly kind of unexpected.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that it was that offensive to start with. I thought they would have had a bit more bulk just to guarantee live the combination, but it wasn't to be. So on this one, this is more of a scout. There's nothing that thing could do to actually kill me. On the next one, if he's hit crash, he could kill me. And I also wanted to scout if it was locked to Choister anyway, because the damage roll didn't quite explain. So for me, spikes hit there were critical. That's more to get my ability to... just need to pause it for a sec.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This turn or
So
previous?
on the... just go back to the previous one.
Right here?
So on this turn, I elected to go for spikes because that spikes are pretty critical. If I can get 1 or 2 rounds of spikes on that Snorlax, it's enough for me to actually take it out with my Boulder. So getting that spike up, getting about, I think it was about 1 or 2 rotations, 2 or 3 rotations on it, depending upon how bulky it was, would be enough to put it in range of my Boulder. So that's why I've elected to go for spikes there rather than trying to do any damage to anything.
Also,
I also did it kind of...
You and shit to an Balloon Goldango either, so...
No.
I mean, I doubt Clodsire gets anything for that in the first place, but...
Yeah, but I could have doubled, was my alternative on the predict.
Probably a little bit too risky, though.
Yeah, it was that too. So this is me going into my Ferrograph, which is actually a Assault Vest Ferrograph, because there was nothing that could really take +2 Goldango without it. So it's just try and chip it down and try and prevent it from being behind a sub. And then this Snorlax was actually a lot more of a problem than I thought, but that was actually a damage roll for me to live there, believe it or not. And then bringing in this here, I knew if it was at about 80%, I would kill most variants of that, unless he's max, and he had
I remember when I was
way too much.
I was surprised the Zero Palafin just straight up killed it.
That's an Adamant Choice Band max attack.
That would explain exactly why I killed it.
Yeah, I didn't think... Yeah, so it's got 204 attack EVs Adamant. It was enough that I knew at 80 at 80 damage on a max would kill, and I knew he had some investment, so I knew it was pretty much guaranteed at that point.
Yeah, alright, so we got rid of the Snorlax, and now the cat comes in. But that's what Skarm's for, probably. Or not. That straight up died.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that was, what do I need going forward from this point with this one? I didn't really need the Skarmory for the Flamingo, and then I had to get rid of something. And keeping Palafin around to have that Jet Punch, Choice Band Jet Punch, would have been very, very useful should something happen to my Boulder. And then I knew from this point that I could go into, who's my Ogerpon to go into, purely because I know there's nothing they can do without triggering the, because they can't transform anymore. I knew it was a free switch across and then a free fire attack. So this is one of the other ones I needed to do damage to. I wasn't sure if it would actually be neutralizing gas initially.
Basically the same amount of damage.
Yeah. So at this point, I know I'm just going to be able to knock it down.
This part.
Yeah.
Then he sacks the.
I was very surprised with that sack. Yeah. And at this point, it's like I've got no reason to have an Assault Versifigure up, so let's just sack that one. And because he's locked in a Brave Bird, there's
Boulder just comes in.
And everything is in range.
Yeah, I'd say
the combination of Rock plus Fairy.
As soon as you did was huge for this endgame Boulder sweep.
Believe it or not, it actually OK'd the Garchomp at +2.
Well, I guess because he didn't have.
Believe it or not, the two most dangerous things were. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the.
But even max, I actually. So at +2, I've got the Calc in front of me, just for argument's sake. So for a Garchomp, so I tank Chomp max. At +2, I did a minimum damage of 107%.
How come whenever I used Tera,
that's how strong Boulder,
it didn't do that amount of damage?
I have no idea. It would be a lot around how you built the team. So for me, I was picking my win before I was actually going into the matches. So in the ones that Ogerpon won, they were intended to always be Ogerpon sweeps with my Trailblaze. And then with the Iron Boulder, this was always around if I get to +2 and I outspeed their entire team at +1, what is the number of attack I need to clear it? And then how do I chip everything into range of that? And then cover my sacks to get to the point where it goes in. And then there's a few other games where I was doing something similar with Palafin, but those ones with Palafin didn't quite come off as well.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask you about that because I took a notice throughout the season of your use of Ogre Hearth. Without Tera, that's probably one of the best seasons I've seen from it. Just like what about it just worked for you so well?
So when I first started playing, one of the things I actually liked drafting a lot was Infernape, and what Ogerpon brings is quite similar to Infernape, except it doesn't have the mix variation. So Infernape always had Stealth Rocks, and this one's got Spikes. And then it was the combination of having two very good stat combinations that made it very hard to switch into. So that was largely what it was for me. And then the speed tier being above that base 100, the 110, gave us a very good opportunity for momentum with the U-turn. So for me, it was around that. And then there was also the opportunity, because it's got so much speed, I did consider a couple of sub Leech Seed sets. I actually did consider one for this game, but the likelihood of Garganacl and Snorlax coming and getting that off effectively just wasn't worth the risk. When the offensive, putting it in range of Boulder was just more effective.
Yeah, outside of the Terrifier, Snorlax, the Ogerpon kind of just clicked buttons in this game.
Yeah.
Like I assume
because it's the combination of fire and grass. Yeah. So that's, yeah, for me, the Ogerpon, when you've got a fire type, usually your first switch in is your water type. But that's not the case for the Ogerpon. So it's like, okay, so if haven't got that, what's the alternative they bring?
Yeah, for the most part, you're going to see other fires against it. Back when I had to play
To which point,
Ogerpon Hearthflame with Tera, I had to bring friggin' Oricorio just to not get to it KO'd by friggin' Ivy Cudgel, and even then that still barely worked.
that's what I've enjoyed about it. It's actually forced people to bring a lot more of their lower tiers just to cover it. And it also acts as a very decent lead despite the fact it can't run Focus Sash. So you'll notice that most of my ones, it's either been kept in the back or it's been a lead pretty much option. So it was almost drafted for the dedicated lead option with the opportunity to set up and sweep. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. That was a really good explanation of that. Thank you.
Yeah, and then with the fire types, you've got the coverage in the ground move. The ground.
Yeah. I mean, Stomping Tantrum's not all that strong, but
yeah, but sometimes it was about, for me, it was about putting things in range of the two very scary wall breakers / sweepers in the back, being the Border and the Pelifin in most of the matches.
yeah, because I just had the grass Ogerpon and DGBA, and it wasn't bad. I had it with Tera, but it was just, I don't know. It felt like more of a matchup fish than I expect it would be. But I think I would like Hearthflame if I gave it a shot. I know I'm probably not going to be able to get it with Tera anywhere anymore, but
No, I wouldn't want to let that one in with Tera. It's way too scary. I was actually surprised Border was let in with Tera. I know it's a lot of people had great success with it, but I had to face it once in a in the Nat decks stuff, and then I just knew that when you're sitting there looking at the typing, going, which typing is it going to be? If it comes in as a defensive type, I've got to run this Pokemon, and if it's an offensive one coming in and being this Tera, I've got to counter it with this one. So it was just that you can run it for its counter, or you can run it for its damage. And whenever Coco comes back into the leagues, this thing's going to be an absolute menace when you can run Choice Band on top of.
I'm very glad I
the
don't
boost.
have to deal with Coco anymore.
I had that unfortunate thing in my match on the Nat decks. It was not a fun game.
Dex League this gen, and I decided I'm done.
Yeah, I played one. That was me. It's way too hyper offense.
Yeah,
It just reminds me of like
there's just
Gen
way
7
too much-
Ubers.
There's just way too much shit going on, pretty much. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, like the meta's shifting to the old versions of Ubers where hit hard, hit fast, get your hazards up, and then thunder waves and stuff are becoming more and more prevalent. So I think for a lot of people, if they're not sure what to do, that's kind of the type of builds you should be looking for.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.